I'm always amazed what healing arts can do.
Just doing my job. No need to thank me.
Hey. Is it just me, or have those two barely spoken a single word to one another?
I know, right? But after everything that happened with Miguel, is it really any wonder?
Kinda puts a damper on the whole journey though, huh? How long do you think they're gonna keep this up?
If it bothers you that much, why don't you ask them?
Why do I have to ask?
How come you walk together like that?
She really doesn't beat around the bush.
You mean Kisara and myself?
You hadn't noticed? You've been practically joined at the hip ever since we left Vicente.
I guess it's force of habit, most likely. I was always ready to protect him, should the need arise. It sort of came with the job description.
Right. From being in the Elder Menancia Guard. Although, Dohalim's pretty capable of defending himself, isn't he?
Having guards doesn't necessarily mean the one being guarded is weak. No one's perfect all the time.
Even so, it's not like they're entirely wrong, Kisara. You're no longer in my employ, after all.
I don't know. I mean, if it's what she's used to and you're both comfortable with it, then who are we to judge?
But she doesn't serve him anymore. It isn't normal for her to keep following him around like she still does.
You know, she's probably right. And a lot has changed over the last few days. I guess it wouldn't hurt to rethink our relationship in light of the new circumstances. Perhaps I'll give it some thought after all. Does that sound all right by you?
Of course.
You might want to stop asking his permission for every little thing while you're at it.
Sorry. It's not that easy, shaking off old habits. I'll probably need a little time to get fully used to it. I've noticed that sometimes we come across enemies who fight like you, and try to dodge our attacks at the last second.
I hate those guys. I can get some hits in when they move into attack, but otherwise they slip past damn near everything else I throw at them.
If what you're seeking is a way to more reliably hit them, there is a solution.
Try to outclass them on reflexes?
I possess the ability to command Earth elemental beings to some extent. They emerge as the land itself and take root on my command. They will swiftly bind the enemies, at which point you can dispatch them.
Huh?
What he means is that he can make plants grow to hold the enemies in place. At least I think that's probably what he's saying.
I'm glad at least one of us understands him. So basically, if we find an enemy that likes to dodge, we should let Dohalim handle it.
I shall do what I can within my modest means to help.
Dohalim's fighting style is... what's the word I'm looking for? Subdued? No...
Do you mean elegant, perhaps?
Yeah, that's the word. For better or worse, you can definitely tell he's cut from posh Renin cloth.
And he's not just skilled with the staff either. He can also use astral arts, including healing ones. I can see how he made it to the position of a lord.
You flatter me, but my fighting techniques merely come from a style that aims to conserve energy by minimizing body movement.
Is that why you wait until the last second before you dodge attacks? To avoid unnecessary movements?
No, I do that to sharpen my senses. I find that doing so is an effective means of drawing out my innermost strength.
Oh yeah, I've noticed you look stronger and strike out with your rod more after you dodge attacks. Guess that's why.
Still, it's a risk. Don't you ever worry you'll dodge at the wrong moment?
Then, it'll be just as well.
Huh?
It's nothing. Let us continue.
Why are you looking at me like that?
That armor you wear is standard issue for the Menancian Guard, right?
Originally, I've added some flair to it in a lot of places.
I noticed, especially with that open back.
We guardsmen pride ourselves on never showing our back to our enemies. It's my way of making myself live up to that. Plus, it makes it that much lighter and easier to maintain.
Dohalim, do you have anything to say about this?
Every guardsman is allowed to wear their armor as they see fit.
And you, Law?
Huh? Why are you asking me? That was nothing.
Dohalim, care if I hang out for a while? You worried about what's going on with Menancia?
What makes you think that?
Well, you were speaking to Kisara earlier, weren't you?
It's rude to listen in on others, you know.
Sorry. I didn't hear what you two were actually talking about, though. I just figured it was Menancia since it was the two of you.
I am but a former lord who has abandoned his post. I'm no longer in a position to lead the realm in any capacity whatsoever. Yet Kisara still seeks out my opinions, knowing full well that is the case. This despite the fact I am no longer her master either.
Couldn't it be precisely because you're not her master anymore? It's natural for friends to want to hear each other's opinions.
I hadn't considered that possibility.
It's funny what you miss sometimes.
Hardly uncommon among artistic types such as myself. When lordships are decided based solely on one's astral energy, it can lead to funny results.
But even so, you still took your job as lord seriously, didn't you?
Certainly. I learned to perform my functions. However, I was less interested in ruling, so much as avoiding life and death decisions. Of course, such a mentality in the end led only to sickening pain and death taking place elsewhere out of sight. I pretended not to see or hear any of it, content to let our supposed peace and equality keep me blind and deaf to reality. I was a fool.
But you're making amends.
I would like to think so. The path ahead is dark, yet I still walk on. I merely pray that I shan't fall down any holes along the way. We'd best get ready for tomorrow. Shall we get moving?
Little help!
Resonate with the earth! Stalagmite! No arts are being interrupted. You're mine!
Damn it!
If they rush you, you gotta jump for cover, okay?
Can you take it?
Hands in the wind!
I'll stop its charge!
Thanks, Kisara.
I'll face you! Elusive deity!
Up and at
These little ones are hardly worth our time.
Less talking, more pummeling.
Now, cut them apart here.
Well then, let's keep moving.
Judging by the stench, I'd say the animals at the ranch are all grown now.
We did a lot today, didn't we, Hoodle?
Kisara, let's talk for a bit.
I'll take watch tonight. It's okay. Before we go, do you guys have everything?
Something feels odd here. Be on your guard.
I just noticed none of you other Danans have spirit cores. Why is that?
Both of my parents were part of the resistance in Calaglia. In fact, my birth was kept a secret from the Renans.
Mine too. We always lived in hiding, so I never had a spirit core embedded in me like I was supposed to.
What about you, Alphen? You were a slave in Calaglia before all this, weren't you?
To be completely honest, I'm not sure why I don't have one. All the other Danan slaves around me did. I was the only exception. They tended to keep their distance from me to avoid attracting any attention from the soldiers, because of my mask and all. What about you, Kisara? Do you still have your spirit core?
No. I was able to find a good Renan doctor who's sympathetic to our kind, and had them remove it before I left. They did such a great job, the procedure didn't even leave a scar.
One of the benefits of coexistence, huh?
I know that once the spirit vessel was shut down, there wasn't much need for me to hurry. But still, I didn't like having that mark of servitude lingering on me any longer than I had to. It may sound a little strange to hear me say this, but I'm just me now. Not a guardsman or a slave. I'm my own woman, and this is my chance to have a new beginning.
This sure is one rugged road. You'd think they'd keep this at least a little better maintained, right?
Why spend energy fixing that which is rarely used? Repairs require time and effort, which in our world means slaves, often in great numbers. For you, it may be a simple request, but that can quickly become another's difficult burden. Nobody gains anything without someone expending effort.
And you know, somehow that someone always ends up being a Danon, while the Renans are the ones who gain.
True enough. Ideally, in a perfect world, I think it's only fair that the ones who need it should be the ones to perform the work.
However, when doing so could be dangerous like it is here, there are many who would prefer that it be others who risk their lives in their stead.
So, what you're saying is that people will just put up with the inconvenience until someone else comes along to fix it for them?
Indeed. And it is those who can no longer bear that feeling that inevitably take action. Much like the Danons in our group do so now. As strange as it may be to hear such a thing from the likes of myself.
It's true that most of the Danons in Calaglia have been resigned to just accepting things as they are. Still, we can't just blame them for...
What are you making that face for? You're not worn out already, are you?
Nah, just regretting I ever said anything in the first place.
Don't get careless.
Don't tell me! Tornado Drive!
Airborne beast.
Behold! The Earth's hope! Tectonic vision!
Here, let me help.
Forgive me.
Hey, that. Now see that you don't get in trouble again. Where are you going?
Can you take it?
So those are Danon Absolute.
Something you want to say?
Not so long as you keep them pointed toward the enemy.
Can you take it? Catapult! Elusive deity! Tornado Drive!
Here!
Not so fast!
I'm out!
I'll thank
Back
you.
into the fray!
You can't lay a finger on it.
I prefer that.
Just watch and see.
Skills in top form, art's working like a charm. Ha!
Someone seems rather pleased with herself.
You... Did you hear all of that?
All right. There's nowhere to run from my heart.
When he slows down, that's our chance!
It's like trying to keep up with a wall.
Take this! I'll thank you! In a bind? Begin! Take this!
Double Demon Fang!
The Earth brought no pain.
Too fast!
Stand back! I'll trip it up! In a bind?
Demon Fang!
Let's go!
I'll
In
thank
here!
you! Now or never!
Get out of there with the other. I'm out of
You're
ammo.
mine! Double Demon Fang!
Lightning
Demon Fang! Double Demon Fang!
Can't get out of this!
Demon Fang!
How's this?
Double Demon Fang!
You're mine!
Demon Fang!
Begin!
Finish it!
Reload! Light burst forth!
Radiant Genesis! You don't mess around.
Demon Fang!
Certainly not.
Demon Fang! I have no limits!
Raging
Double Demon Fang!
Sleep now. Here I come.
Demon Fang! Coming through! Ha! Now! Scarlet and... Got some interesting moves there, Dohalim. I'm glad you're on our side.
I'm simply glad to hear that I can make myself useful to you all. Huh?
What's wrong?
We seem to have come across some rather unusual objects.
What, you mean that pile of garbage?
No mere garbage, I assure you. Still, I've never seen anything shaped like it before. I'm intrigued.
Are you curious about this stuff, Rinwell?
Yeah. I think he might have found some old Danon relics. They look like the remains of a bunch of objects that disappeared after the Renans first invaded.
And yet here I am, holding them without so much as a second thought. I imagine the sight must be unsettling to you.
Not really, just that it must be nice to be a Renan who has time to indulge in stuff like that, unlike the rest of us.
Are you interested in this stuff too, Dohalim?
Charmed may be a better turn of phrase. I simply love objects that can give me a sense of what their maker was thinking, the history that went into their creation. You see, we Renans have hardly any such objects that trace back to our distant past.
I still don't understand what you two find so intriguing about it, though.
Why not? We're talking about our own culture here.
I get that, but it's not like this stuff is any use now, does it? It's just old. Real old.
Oh, but it does. Holding it in your hands like this, one can feel and engage with the distant past in a way no history book can ever accomplish.
I'll take your word for it. Well, seeing as it's Danon history, just make sure you're careful with it. All right, Dohalim?
But of course. That treasure. What a sweet-sounding ring it has.
You really think so?
I must keep striving.
You can ease off yourself.
Pot calls the kettle black.
Good advice for all of us, to be honest.
Visibility along this path will remain limited for some time. Take care not to get ambushed.
I'm surprised you know the terrain here so well. Lords don't strike me as having much time for wandering in the woods.
Sometimes I would take strolls along here when I wished to be alone.
You always did have a bad habit of disappearing without telling any of us guardsmen.
We're in for a long slog with this one. Like moths to the flame.
One last
One more!
It's a duel of the arms!
Going in!
Pesky airborne scoundrels!
Sounds like a job for yours truly.
Going in! One more! Now you see what I can do!
Leave the enemy's arms to me!
No place here! Piercing raw! This one's mine!
Leave the ensnaring to me. Now or never.
That's it!
Double demon fang!
Going in!
Don't mind if I do.
One more! Alright, their arcs were interrupted. Tiger Blade!
Demon fang!
I'm gone!
Go get
this! Tiger Blade!
Double demon fang!
Feel.
It's too much.
This one's mine!
Here I go!
Look sharp! That's it!
These little ones are hardly worth our time.
Less talking, more pummeling.
Cut them apart to your heart's content.
Here's ready and ready!
Banana, let's go! Dance in the wind!
Far enough!
Air
Look
thrust.
sharp! Take this! Tiger Blade!
Double demon fang!
Going in! One more!
Demon fang!
Piercing roar! Tiger Blade! I'll stop your movement!
And I'll stop your life!
We managed to pull through.
We're in for a long slog with this one! One more!
I never miss!
Tiger Blade!
Let's get you all tucked
This
away!
one!
Lightning!
Look sharp!
You got something?
That's it!
I can hear the healing art!
Look sharp! Tiger Blade! I'll take you all on! Ha! Flare Demolisher!
Raging Cascade!
Mega Ray! This one's mine!
Annihilation! Get on you there!
Tiger Blade!
Here's Searing Flame! Reload! Let's go! Here goes! Flame! Reload!
I'm gone!
Searing
I'm
Flame!
gone! One more!
I'm all stuffed
This
up!
one's mine!
Demon
Thunder
fang!
Blade!
Double demon
Go
fang!
in!
Demon fang! Double
I'm
demon
gone!
fang!
Lightning Condemned!
Look
Thunder
sharp!
Blade!
Take this!
Shadow!
Tiger Blade!
Radiant Look here! Here goes!
Going in! Take this! Going in!
Dance in the wind!
Take this!
Air thrust!
Going in!
Annihilate!
That's it!
Lightning Condemned!
Tiger Blade!
Thunder Blade! Mega
This
Ray!
one's mine! This one's mine! Wow! Look what I just found.
It's so hilly around here. I can feel my feet getting blisters.
That's mountain hiking for you. It can be pretty tough if you're not used to these sorts of trails.
I take it you're comfortable with them then?
Oh yeah. We used to run up and down these slopes all the time for our training exercises.
Damn. You weren't messing around.
Don't get careless.
This one's
Don't
mine!
tell me!
Don't mind if I
gets
do!
by me.
Look here!
Tiger Blade!
From behind! Searing Flame! Reload!
Piercing roar!
One at a
Time
time!
to shine.
Thunder
Going
Blade!
in!
Flying freak! Why can't they just sit still?
Sion, can you take care of them?
No sooner said than done.
I'm ready to go!
Piercing in the wind! Light astral energy!
I'm gone! Take this!
Bird!
Not in your dreams!
This one's mine!
Thunder
Time to
Blade!
shine! Piercing roar! Tiger Blade!
Lightning Condemned!
Commander of Heaven!
Phoenix Cyclone!
Did it!
Yeah! Nice technique! I'm gone! That's it! Tiger Blade! The power of light! I'm ready to go! Look sharp! Time to shine! Now you see what I can do! Going in!
Here!
That's it! Tiger Blade!
Finish it!
I think I'm getting stronger.
That's no ordinary enemy.
We're in for a long slog with this one.
I never miss!
Going in! Take this! This one's mine! Worth it! Nice try!
Portal blade!
Here's a healing!
Going in! Tiger Blade! Can't handle me, can you?
We'll soon see about that. Here goes!
They're taking too many hits!
Get on in there with the
Now,
others.
where was I?
More where that came from.
Tiger Blade!
Here!
Piercing roar!
Dance in the wind!
I owe you one. I'll take you all on! Ha! Flare Demolisher! Going in!
Lightning and red!
Going in!
Thunderblade!
That's it!
I'm out!
Time to shine! Piercing roar!
Going in! Cascade!
Take this!
Here, let me help.
Tiger
In here!
Blade! Time
Get
to
on in
shine!
there with the others!
Piercing roar!
Freeze laser!
That's
Radiant!
it! Here! Tiger Blade!
Lightning and
Double
red!
demon off!
Shield and Blade off!
Here's a
Going
healing
in!
arm! First aid!
Appreciate the help!
Raging
One
storm!
more!
Steering
Tiger Blade! Time to shine! Piercing roar! I'll stop your movement!
And I'll stop your life! Step back! This one's all law!
This won't be easy.
Take this!
Don't be such a pessimist.
I'm gone! One more! Reload! Tiger Blade!
Sleep now.
Piercing
Here,
roar!
I'll be saving this one. Dance in the
Tiger
wind!
Blade!
Nail it!
Fantastic! Now my clothes are ruined.
Annihilate!
I'll take you all on! Ha! Flare Demolisher! What? Here, I got you. That's it!
Now for something special.
It's time!
How does this? By the power of
Guardian Field!
Watch it!
You paid for that!
Get on in there with the others. Light astral
I'll bring you
energy.
back from death to bed.
Don't mind if I do. Resuscitation.
Wyvern! Eat
Here,
dirt!
let me help. I have to train harder. Look sharp. Take this. Round and pound. Shield and race.
You're mine!
Time to shine.
Double demon
Here's a
face!
healing art.
Looks not like this.
These little ones are hardly worth our time.
Less talking, more pummeling.
Cut them apart to your heart's content.
Demon face!
This one's mine.
In a bind?
Double demon
You've got a knack for battle.
I still plan on training.
That's what I like to hear.
mine!
Tiger Blade! Here! Going in!
Dance in the wind.
Oh, suicide is not over!
I'll be
Here,
saving
let
this
me
one.
help.
Here goes annihilation. Arnex
I'm
coming
gone.
through.
Take this! Ground and pound! Ready to go!
Let's get you all tucked away.
Ground and pound!
More with that.
I need to be stronger.
This'll make us even more formidable.
More Danon runes here too, I see.
What were people even thinking back then? Trying to build anything around here.
Maybe they just had that much time and energy on their hands.
Brace yourself! This one's tough!
That's it! This one's mine!
I'll be
Demon Fang!
Look sharp! Take this!
Raging Cascade!
Let me help!
Steel!
Appreciate the help! Igneous discharge! I'll take you all on! Ha! Flare the Malisa! You wanna play? Then come at me!
Eat dirt!
Look sharp! Guardian Field! I got you! Igneous discharge! One more! Tiger Wave! Shield and Mayborna! Look sharp!
How much longer will our healing arts last?
I sure have built up a sweat with this hike.
Rest assured, we have reached the top. It's all downhill from here, quite literally.
So Mahag Sar's just up ahead then?
Indeed. If you look, across this mountain is the Lord's Keep.
What's that big tower over there?
You guys want to rest here?
Guess I'll polish up my sword.
Hell yeah! There's no way you can complain about how this tastes!
Kisara, let's talk for a bit. Maintaining your shield? It's becoming a familiar sight.
Miguel was the one who taught me how to maintain my equipment after I first joined the Guard. Now, it's just a part of my routine.
Your brother always seems to come up whenever I talk to you.
That's because we had no other relatives, so it was just the two of us growing up. He was my idol, the one I looked up to and wanted to be like. When I became a guardsman, Lagiel wasn't too pleased to see me at first. It was Miguel who really welcomed me aboard.
Lagiel? Oh, right. She was Miguel's second in the Gold Dust Cats, wasn't she?
That's right. She's always been a very critical and down-to-earth person. In other words, the complete opposite of a dreamer like me.
You're more an idealist than some pie-in-the-sky dreamer.
Even so, that's my brother's doing. He'd never let me stop seeing a brighter world. He always did what he could to keep me smiling and happy.
You must have meant a lot to him.
He wasn't just kind either. He always worked so hard to set an example for me and everyone else around him. He was a true big brother. So much so that when he thought I was asleep, he'd slip out of the house to go training on the outskirts of town.
You seem to know a lot about it.
That's because I only pretended to be asleep and would follow after him. You know what? I'm at a good stopping point with my shield. If you've got time, how about I tell you a couple more Miguel stories?
I guess I'd better get comfortable.
I'll take watch tonight. It's okay. Before we go, do you guys have everything?
I'm not afraid.
What's this place here? Some kind of old house?
I don't know about that. If I had to guess, it probably served as some kind of shrine.
So still a house, in a sense. Just for a god.
Out of our way! Going in! Annihilate! Igneous discharge!
My astral energy!
Look sharp!
Banana, let's
Take
go!
that! Igneous discharge!
Reload!
Flying free! Why can't they just sit still?
Sia, can you take care of them?
No sooner said than done! On guard! Take this! Round and pound! Back into the fray! Igneous discharge!
Finish it!
Round and pound!
Look sharp! Lightning Tiger Blade!
Radiant
The enemy
hit!
wields ours too.
We'll soon see about that.
Igneous discharge!
Here's another. Dance in the wind!
Finish it!
Look sharp!
Frozen!
Hammer!
You're quite the gunslinger.
I have to be, in this world.
Don't worry, I've got your back.
Elusive deity!
I can handle it.
A banana, let's go!
On your knees!
Leave the enemy's arts to me!
No complaint here!
Get on out there with the others!
On your knees!
Radiant blast in the wind!
On your knees!
Air pressure! Radiant here! Lightning descent!
On your knees!
On a roll!
Air pressure!
Your power is a spectacle to behold.
I'm not trying to be dramatic with it.
Still, it's a part of you. Embrace it.
Air pressure!
Go!
On your knees! Air pressure! On your knees! Another incantation ruin! On your knees!
Demon Fang!
Air pressure! On your knees!
Double Demon Fang!
More where that came from!
My exploits are bearing fruit.
Out of our way!
Demon
Can't get out of this!
Double Demon Fang!
Everlasting darkness! Negative gate! Leave the agile ones to me. Negative gate! Everlasting darkness! Negative gate! On your
Demon Fang!
prepare to be sealed or at least pushed. Actually, that clown is more appropriate.
Coming through! Ha! No! Scarlet Inferno! Demon Fang! Double
On
Demon
your
Fang!
In here! Here's a healing ball tucked away!
On your knees!
Alright! Dance time!
Do it!
Thunder Field! With this, I can become even stronger! You got company! Lightning condemns! Radiant Blade!
On your knees!
Don't mind if I do! Lightning condemns! Thunder Blade!
On your
One more time!
Air pressure! Pesky airborne scoundrels!
Sounds like a job for yours truly!
An astral art?
That's my cue!
On your knees!
Shut him down!
Photon blast!
Air pressure!
Here, let me help!
Elusive deity! Tornado God! Can you take it? Take this! Elusive deity!
Blazing cascade!
Begin!
Expert, come through!
Impressive, Alphen. Float like a butterfly and sting like a bee. Or so they say.
People say that?
On your knees. Leave the ensnaring to me.
Yeah, and probably to me.
I'll be saving this one! Here, let me help!
Air pressure!
Photon blast! A banana, let's go! Searing flame!
No further!
Don't mind if I do! Raging cascade!
On your
I'm
knees.
out of ammo! Too much to handle! Air thrust! Air thrust!
Arts are being interrupted.
Now!
Out of it! In an instant! Impact block!
We work well together.
Like a finely timed wall.
Let's get you all tucked away! Searing flame!
Air pressure!
A banana, let's go!
On your knees.
In here!
Blow them away! A comfortable win.
This might be some decent equipment.
Anything that makes battles easier is okay by me.
This won't be easy. Don't be such a pessimist.
Elusive Gear! Tornado Drive! On your knees!
I'll take you all on!
Here goes!
Air pressure!
We got fire!
I've got this! Let a marksman handle it!
All yours!
Dance in the wind!
On your knees!
Light Astro Energy!
Air pressure! I'll face you!
Let me help!
Elusive Deity!
Here I go!
On your knees!
Reload!
Air
Let me
pressure!
help! First aid!
I'll face you! Now we're not...
Here! I'm out of ammo!
Air pressure!
Swords really are as strong as they're said to be.
Actually, that would be a form.
Potatoes, potatoes. So that's how a lord fights.
I don't perform as well when I'm observed.
I'm going to pretend I didn't hear you say that.
Elusive Deity!
There! And again! Now! I'm out of it! This one's got your name on it!
Ashes to ashes! Hey, I'm pretty lucky.
What's with that shining foe over there?
This won't be easy. Don't be such a pessimist.
Annihilation! One for the
Air pressure! Stay calm. I shall provide assistance. Air pressure!
Feel! One more!
On your knees.
Get on in there with the others! Annihilate! Prime the
Air
drive!
pressure!
Action! Crossblade!
On your knees.
Take it! And again!
Air pressure!
Air thrust!
On your knees.
Well, we're on the home stretch now.
Don't take your eyes off the prize.
I'm quite aware without you reminding me.
Blazing cascade! There! In
On
here!
your knees.
Feel! More for the stockpile!
Air
Here
pressure!
goes! By the wall! One at a time!
On your knees.
Now!
Position, precision, timing. All a perfect 10.
That's it? Nothing else to add?
You take meticulous care of your fire. No further!
Whoa! Hey! One at a time! Lightning again! Here! Thunderbolt!
I'm practically unstoppable.
Still thinking about how to act around Dohalim?
That obvious, huh? Except I don't think I'll be changing much after all. Don't get me wrong, I'm not going to stay his servant. However, I am going to treat him like a fellow comrade, the same way I would with you or anyone else. For as long as I can remember, I've spent my life protecting others. But isn't that what friends do too? Support and protect one another in times of need?
Which in the end pretty much means doing as you've always done, right? If that's what you're most comfortable with, I'm certainly not going to give you any grief over it.
Actually, I've been thinking about how I ought to act around you all as well.
Oh?
When I set out on this journey, it was to rid Eldaman and Sia of its enemies, and search for wisdom in the outside world. Wisdom that I could potentially put to use on my return. I'm grateful to you all for letting me tag along, but it got me thinking, what am I actually contributing by being here?
What are you talking about? You know how to hold a weapon, don't you? That's help enough.
Is it though? Sometimes I wish there was more I could be doing to pull my...
Oops, sorry about that. Jeez, I'm famished.
Now that you mention it, what do you guys normally do for food and meals when you're out and about on your travels?
What do you mean, what do we do? We find stuff to eat and eat it. So long as it's meat, I'm not fussy.
Eating what you like can be good for morale in the short term, but you need to think about your diet if you want to stay healthy.
Does that mean eating vegetables too?
Isn't that obvious?
It does, which I guess hasn't been happening up till now.
Yeah, to be honest, we could be eating better than we do.
Understood. In that case, I'll just have to make sure you're all staying healthy and eating right myself. Fortunately, I happen to know a thing or two about cooking as well.
You hear that, Law? Sounds like you'll be eating your greens after all.
What is it?
No, sorry, it's just... I was just wondering if you had any thoughts on all this.
It will do her good to have a project.
No, not Kisara. I meant you. Was there anything you wanted to add?
Me? Certainly you're not looking to me for culinary skill, I hope.
Typical Renan, leaving everything to someone else.
Rinwell, I don't think...
That said, should you need my skills on the battlefield, please rest assured I have no intention of shirking my responsibilities, regardless of who we may face.
I'm sure no one doubts that. Listen, guys, if we're traveling together, we should probably at least try to make an effort to get to know one another, don't you think?
I wouldn't get your expectations too high in that regard. Believe it or not, sometimes I'm not sure I even know myself all that well.
Something wrong? You look like you're deep in thought.
Not exactly. I was merely thinking about you two and your sense of etiquette.
Oh?
Etiquette?
Indeed. To be quite frank, I find your lack of manners to be nigh intolerable.
That's not being frank, that's being and forget it. Do we really need to talk about this now?
Yes, I find such impropriety on your parts to be deeply unsettling. It concerns me greatly.
What do you want us to do? We were slaves. We never got to learn how to be proper like you.
Yeah, what he said. Maybe you missed how we were just focused on surviving.
Perhaps, but Kisara here demonstrates that it's quite possible for a Denon to learn proper manners.
That's because I was given the opportunity to learn. Moreover, my duties as a guardsman required it. Not every realm is like Menancia, as you well know.
Yeah, I don't think it's fair to hold us to some other city standards.
Exactly. You've got to remember what it's been like for us living under the Rena elsewhere.
I will concede that you do indeed make a valid point. It would appear, for all my espousing the virtues of equality between our peoples, I was still looking down on the two of you.
You don't need to beat yourself up. I wasn't that offended by what you said, man.
Nevertheless, I shall mind my words from here on out. Having said that, I do believe you two would still benefit from learning the basics of proper society. I would be more than happy to teach you both when we camp out, if you like.
Yeah, no, I'll pass. Acting all prim and proper isn't really my style.
If you say so. How about you, Law? Would you like to learn? Although I suppose my first task is to reform your attitude toward the idea of good etiquette.
You're not gonna let this go, are you?
Hey, let's stop for a minute.
What's up? You already tired?
My armor's pretty heavy. I think I need a little rest.
I second that. All of this walking is starting to take its toll on me as well.
What? You don't look it.
We can't spare the time. There's places we need to be. Mahag-Sar's capital, Niez, is our destination right now.
But if one of us collapses, it will only serve to slow us down. And in your case, Alphen is the only one who could carry you. Best to rest while you have the opportunity.
Enough already. I need a break, so we're taking one.
I don't need you fretting over me.
Fretting? Hey, it's not like I'm...
Been looking for you.
For me, why?
He's tough.
Who are you? You said you were looking for me. Why?
Beautiful, precious life.
What the...
That is all I desire.
Then why are we fighting? Who even are you?
Negative
You're
gain!
on your knees. I'm not done!
Fool, thou art being interrupted.
Who the hell are you? Bastard!
This guy's not normal.
His speed is unbelievable.
You mean he even surpasses a lord?
Enjoy.
I'll be saving this one.
Here.
I couldn't make it in time.
Take
In
this.
here. I'll bring you down there with the others. Dance in the wind. In here. More for the stars.
On your knees.
Whoa! One at a time.
You're finished! Swallow blade!
Here, let me help.
Everlasting
Here,
jump.
let me help.
Prepare to be seen.
There. One
You're
more.
mine!
Lightning. Downfall. Take care of.
Forgive me. This is my fault.
Radiant.
I'll bring you back from...
Another incantation ruined.
Resuscitation.
I've healed myself.
One more. Back into the fray.
Try harder! Now! You're mine!
I'll bring you back from death's abyss.
You're mine! You're finished!
Take this.
That's gonna stop. Reload.
Enjoy.
Let's get you all tucked away. Back into the fray.
This should do it!
Right.
You're my...
Here, let me help.
Die.
Raging
Taking
cascade.
it! You're mine! Demonstrate!
Take this.
Arnex, they're coming through.
Enjoy.
Let me help. Astral energy.
Can't move. From beyond,
Dance in the
imbue
wind.
this
Take
temple with
this.
soul
Airstrike.
with life.
I can't heal you forever.
Lightning condemned.
Resonate.
Mega ray.
Stalagmite.
Ready to go.
Photon. Raging cascade. Annihilation. Mega ray. Get out of there with the others. Light astral
You can't
energy.
get out of this.
Light astral energy.
On your knees.
Searing light astral energy. Lightning condemned. Thunder.
I'm out of ammo.
Is that all that you've got? Very well. Then die.
A wretch like you? Till next time.
Shion, wake up, please!
Alphen?
Shion!
Thanks, but you're kinda crushing me.
Sorry.
It's okay. And so am I. It's not as bad as it looks.
Not bad. That's... Shion, we thought you
I'm
were...
fine. Really.
What the hell were you thinking?
Well, you were trying to protect me too, you know.
Yeah, but I have the sword. It's different.
It's not different. Besides,
Hmm?
Never mind. It's nothing. Anyway, thank you.
But I didn't... Look, I'm just glad that you're...
Alphen?
Sorry.
That guy said he'd be back. I think maybe we should get moving before he returns, right?
Rinwell has a good point. We need to go. Shion, are you sure you're okay?
Shion, are you sure you're okay?
Yeah, I already applied some healing arts to it. It didn't even leave a scar.
But his sword went nearly straight through you.
I'm all right. Unless I've turned into some kind of ghost and I'm haunting you all right now.
No, I know you're not. It's just...
Look, I appreciate you looking out for me, but I'm fine, really.
There was also that strange light that appeared when Shion was stabbed. It seemed to make the enemy retreat when he saw it. Alphen, do you have any idea what it might have been?
A light? I don't know. I was kind of preoccupied with other things at the time.
Now that I think of it, between that light and the blazing sword, just what sort of person are you, Alphen? Can you use Danon astral arts like Rinwell, perhaps?
He wouldn't know, Dohalim. He doesn't have any memories from his past, remember? Besides, we should really be getting out of here.
I suppose you're right. Forgive me. We've almost reached Niez, the capital of Mahag Sar. With any luck, we'll find a place there for Shion to rest. Hey,